Bandwidth for this podcast is brought to you by CacheFly at CACHEFLY.com.
Welcome back to MacBreak Studio. I'm in the studio with Mark, and we're talking Final Cut Pro, and we're talking about Mark's favorite subject, camera archives. And you're just sold out on camera archives. You just think they're the best thing ever. But you have some data to back that up.
I'm sold on them, and I do harp on it a bit. And I think some people get, oh my God, camera archives again. You know, and I do. I harp on it. But I wanted to. So just to back up a minute, camera archives are a way of making a backup of your data when you shoot on a camera that has a card.
A bit-for-bit clone.
A bit-for-clone. So when you stick the card in, instead of just dragging the data over in the Finder, you go to the import window in Final Cut, and there's an option to make camera archive. Yeah. And by doing that, you're making a bit-for-bit clone of the whole structure in a way that is protected and safe. Because if you import media from it, you'll never actually link to that media. You'll actually have to import a copy of it, so it's always kept completely self-contained. And there's nothing fancy about it. People are like, oh, I want to give to somebody on a PC, I can't. It's just a package. It's a bundle. You right-click on it, you show package contents, and it's just the card structure. That's all it is. Yeah. It's just put inside a container. So it's very simple. But so it's already, I think, is extremely valuable as a way to make sure you have a full, good backup of your data. But I want to give you another reason why I think you should use a camera archive. And I think this is a good one. So what I'm going to do is import a clip from a camera archive. Okay. So I have this new empty project here. I'm going to choose File, Import Media. And what I'm going to do is navigate to a camera archive on this little connected drive here. And if I go down, there's a place, My Camera Archives, and I've got a camera archive in here. And you can tell it's a camera archive by this little symbol, this little kind of film canister. And I'm just going to select this first clip. And this is an archive of your Sabercat shoot, of this helicopter shoot. So I'm going to take this clip right here. I'm going to choose Import Selected. And because it's a camera archive, I do not have the option to leave files in place. That's kind of the whole point, is if I left files in place, I'd be linking to a file in the camera archive, which means if I happen to delete the file in Final Cut, it would delete that media. That's what we want to avoid. So that's why you can't leave files in place. Right? Like you say, it treats it like it's just the SD card or the CF card.
It is. It's just a bit-for-bit copy of the CF card.
So you need to either copy it directly into the library or choose a location. So just for fun, I'm going to choose a location to put this thing, and I'm going to go ahead and just put it on the desk. Right. My desktop's kind of a mess.
Well, how about
so I'll put it on Big Vader. It doesn't matter. We'll be able to see where it is. So I'm going to put it on this Big Vader.
So just to reiterate, you're creating an external media library. Library it's linking to a clip on
external
outside
media,
of itself.
Which this could be internal as well.
Okay.
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
So I'm going to say OK. So I'm going to copy the file to that drive, and I'm not going to create optimized media. I'm going to choose Import. And there's our clip. Just took a second, and it's here. It copied it. It made a copy of it, and there's my clip. So check this out. I'm going to right-click and choose Reveal in Finder, and it shows us where this clip is. Okay, there's the clip. Now, what I'm getting to, if for some reason you damage this clip, so it's not accessible anymore. So let's look at a couple things. First of all, I'm just going to change the name of the clip. So I'll go ahead and say this. This clip has a new name because I was messing around and I went into my folder and I didn't really know what it was and I changed the name. All right, so I'm going to do that and go back to Final Cut. And of course, the clip's going to be offline now, right?
No, it's still online.
Yep, you can change the name of a clip, and Final Cut doesn't care.
Now, is this new in 10.1?
Yeah, well, it's new in 10. I believe in 10.1. I believe it is. Yes. So it doesn't matter. You can rename that clip, and Final Cut still knows it's there. So check this out. If I go back to the Finder and take that clip, let's move it somewhere else. In fact, I'll create a new folder called My New Folder, and I'll drag the clip into there. Okay, of course, now it's going to be offline.
It's still not offline.
It's still not offline, okay? I don't recommend you do this. I don't recommend you do this. This will also work, by the way, if I had imported it into the library itself.
Right.
You could go into the library bundle and change its name or move it. But I don't recommend you do this because honestly, if you do try to do Reveal in Finder, it's going to go find the SIM clip within the library.
With the original name.
Yeah, and then if you try to show original, it's going to get confused because the name has changed, okay? So you're going to have trouble getting back to it even though Final Cut still
Which
sees
is
it here.
your point of, you want to avoid renaming clips anyway.
Yeah.
It's like, you're just doing this to make a point.
Right.
Final Cut Pro's database still knows where that clip is, which is your overall point here.
So if you did do that stuff and you realize, oh, I can't really get to it, and let's leave it and come back to it, we'll still be online. Aha. Okay.
Now it's gone.
Okay, now because I've moved it around, I've changed the name, it's gone. So what the heck do I do? I mean, it was sort of cached in RAM there, but guess what? You come back and like, oh my God, it's gone, and you try to reel and find her, it's gone, what do I do? So normally, if you didn't make a camera archive, you've got to
find that file.
Right, you assume you've got a backup somewhere, you've got to go find it manually, but here's the cool thing. I'm gonna select the event and go to the File menu and choose Import, Re-import from camera/archive, okay? What that means is, if you still got the card, you could connect the card and it would see it and recognize it and import from it. But often that card is wiped.
Sure.
Right? It's just, it's gone. But if you had a camera archive, it'll re-import from the camera archive. Now, this menu will only show up if the original import came from a camera archive, right? So if we select this, we get a dialog box that says, hey, I'm going to re-import from a camera or camera archive. Media will be re-imported from camera archives for selected clips that don't have original media imported. Okay? So if I hit continue, it immediately finds, you see it made the copy, little copy right, and there it is.
Wow, that's fantastic.
It copied it back in. So now if I right click and choose Reveal in Finder, we get it back at that original location.
If that doesn't sell you on creating a camera archive, I don't know what would.
I mean, you could relink your media if you deleted it or renamed it or something.
Forget that. Look, Mark, I really don't understand why people wouldn't make a camera archive. There's no downside to it, right? Is there any downside to it?
Honestly, sometimes what I'll do if I do a shoot of a couple quick clips, and I just want to get them in, I might not, and my card has a whole bunch of other stuff on it. I might not make a camera archive. I'll just grab those clips. So even I will sometimes not do it. But normally, if we're going on a shoot, a production, and you start with an empty card, and you want all that stuff self-contained, make a camera archive.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Another reason for it.
Excellent. Fantastic. Is there any other things you want them to know about camera?
No.
I know what I wanted to ask you. Does it make sense to have all your camera archives in one location? Or they just be wherever you want them?
Well, what you bring up is interesting because before 10.1, camera archives had to be in a folder called Final Cut Archives. And I believe it had to be at the root of a volume.
Drive, that's right.
But now you can put them anywhere you want.
Sure.
So it's really up to you how you want to organize them. I like to try to put them in a one location if my drive has enough space for it, just I know where they are. It's sort of a backup location.
Yeah, that sounds fantastic. I can see myself making a partition that's specifically designed for camera archives on maybe a RAID, like a RAID 5, like that Pegasus, which is all my camera archives are there. Fantastic, Mark. That's really really good
useful,
stuff.
helpful thing.
All right, so yet another reason to use camera archives. Make sure you check out Ripple Training because we've got a lot of Final Cut Pro 10.1 training. He's got a multicam training up there that's fantastic. We have Final Cut Pro 10 specific plugins. If you're not familiar with those, check us out on Twitter at Ripple Training, on Facebook, and of course you can reach us at support@rippletraining.com. Thank you for watching yet another episode of MacBreak Studio. We'll see you next time.